right, so good morning, everybody. And this is Tuesday, August the, oh,
6th.
this is, thank you, the 6th, Tuesday, August the 6th. And yeah, we're going to have a call this week. And then next week, I'm not sure what you guys want to do. Jacqueline and I are going to be on the road coming back from Christina Lake, so we won't be able to be on a call. And I asked Irene if she could lead the call. She's also going to be out of town she's going to be in the Kootenays as well. So just keep that in mind at the end of this call. You know, if you guys decide if you want to do a call, then absolutely do it. And I'll just give somebody the Zoom link and you can still meet up and you guys can each do a piece or do whatever you like or do nothing at all, whatever you want to do. We get to do whatever we want because you know what? We're big people, which is the great thing about our age. We get to do whatever we want and not what anybody else tells us we have to do. All right. And Jacqueline, we're making that one of our, Jacqueline and I were talking about the sort of guiding, what did you call them, Jacqueline? Not principles, but
Yeah, guiding principles at first, but that's the working title. We're going to look for something a little snazzier. Can you hear me? Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, way better. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and these would be just for our team. In other words, they're not Plexus principles. They're just ours for our team. And one of them is, you know what? We get to do whatever we want. We can do whatever we want, whatever we don't want, and we can do it any way we want, which is nice. So last week 2 weeks ago, we did the principle of detaching from the outcome. And last week we did, Jacqueline?
Last week we
detachment.
No, that was 2 weeks ago. Second.
Okay. Well, for
I've got it on my
You guys
notes
need
here.
more edge.
Last week was you focus on what you want, not
No, I need to take notes.
Yeah. What we want and what we don't
thank you.
want.
Yes, thank you,
Stella.
Sally. Thank you. It was about getting to get clarity on what we want by knowing what we don't want. So we don't dwell on what we don't want, but we're at least willing to look at what we don't want to help us get clarity, therefore, on what we want, using the therefore statement. And then that led to revisiting our why. So I am wearing the 1 year Plexus Canada t-shirt. It's been a year, over a year now, but some of you have joined within that last year. And so we talked about revisiting our why because our whys should be individual and varied. It's different for everybody. And in the process of thinking about that, yesterday I spent a lot of time actually in the Facebook group, and I rewrote the description of the group and what the fun group, the Freedom and Fun group, is about. And so I encourage you guys to read that. And the reason I did that is because I also yesterday, for the first time, publicly posted something inviting people into the group on my own personal page. And then encourage people when they come into the group to read that post first at the top. So it explains a little bit about why I started the group and also some of our guiding principles of, you know, that we do this whatever way we want and that we're dedicated to personal development, our own personal and spiritual development, and as well as our physical health, financial health, relational health, and that people can use the platform being Plexus, to achieve any of those or something else if they have something else. And you know what? There are some people that will come onto the team that just really love being part of the team. And they may only ever take one product. They may never build the business, and that's okay. And we welcome all of that. We're looking to build a team that is absolutely inclusive. It's not an exclusive team and you've got to be a business builder or anything like that. It's inclusive of whatever it is people want, however they want to be a part of this. So, yeah, so anyway, with that, the importance of the why. So, okay, so why is it important to know our why? Why is it important to know our why, Jacqueline?
My iPad's kind of low on battery, so when I'm not talking, I'm charging it. So takes me a second. So why is it important to know our why? Is because it's you know, to give purpose and direction, first of all, to know what is it that you're aiming for. If you set off on a journey and you don't know what your destination is, you could end up doing all kinds of things. But if you're focused on the destination, whatever it is that happens along the way, you still know where it is that you're going. And so one of the resources I was listening to this morning, one of the videos, she talked also about when things get hard, when times gets, you know, tough, when you've been on hold for 15 minutes with client care, or when the person that you know, been spending a lot of time with, and they're just ready to sign up and they turn around and they say, no, I've decided this is not for me. And, you know, it gets us through, it can get us through the difficult times. Those are two of the reasons that come to mind right off the bat.
Okay, and Brenda B, what about you in terms of why is the why important to you? Or is it important to you?
Mm-hmm. It is. I call it the triple bottom line. So I have it in 3 categories. Why it's important for me personally. And that is, of course, my health. Plexus. You know, it just helps me to get there faster. Let's put it that way. Why it's important for others. I have diabetes. Runs in my family. So I want to help my family first and foremost, and then my friends who I know, not only with diabetes, but all the other things that are related to metabolic syndrome, which is heart problems, which come as a result of, you know, cholesterol, all that, stroke. So it's important that, you know, these people and me as well don't end up with it. And in fact, that's the reason why I did it, because of the what's it called, the things that happen as a result of diabetes. So that's that. And then of course I want to take this globally, and so Plexus helps me to do this, first and foremost for people that have health issues, those that don't have health issues, so that they can have optimal health, so that they won't get it. Because if they don't, you know, if they don't take care of themselves, they will end up getting some kind of problems, or more than likely. And then lastly, it's a way to help people who have a purpose, who know where they want to go and are having issues with finances. So this is also a way for them to do it. So those are my 3 whys.
Nice, thank you. And Sally, how about you? What does the why mean to you? Or do you have a why, or does it mean something to you?
It does, but it's in my head. I've never really spoken about it, and so my why's up there, and it's personal, like Brenda's is, because I'm really I can get people on, I can get friends on, I can get friends taking the product. It's family that just drive me nuts. And so my why is to try and figure out how to get through to them that this is really important. The products are of an essence. And with so many health challenges on my side of the family and mine as well, is trying to get through to family. And that's my biggest why. How do I get through to them? So I just keep pushing, and not pushing, but keep offering the benefits of all the products and hoping that at some point they'll realize it and start taking it.
Why?
Yeah.
Why is that important? Yeah, why is that important to you?
Because I know what it's like to be unhealthy, and it sucks.
Okay, and why is it important that your family members be healthy?
Because I want them to live a long and happy life. And that's, you know, when I see the thing from Plexus that says health and happiness, that's what it means to me, is health and happiness. And I want them to be healthy and happy.
Why?
Because when you lose family members to disease that shouldn't have happened, it hurts.
So you love them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know if anybody else has that issue. I've got that issue. My own kids, you know, they don't take the product. They want the product. I get them the product. Well, that's only my daughter. My son, not so much. If I gave him the product, he'd take it. But my daughter, you know, they'll take the product if I buy it for them. You know, are they going to invest the money? Why is it not important to my kids? I think they're at the age where they feel more invulnerable to, you know what I mean? Whatever, it's not an issue for them in their 20s and 30s, or I guess they're both in their 30s now. What about you, Jacqueline? Do you come up against that with your kids?
One of my kids takes product regularly. One of them takes it when he is in severe need, like a broken hand. So he came knocking on my door the other day. It's my youngest one, with a busted hand, and what did I have that could help him? Which was like, oh, cool. The other one, the one that's traveling up from the States today, he's probably the most resistant one. He's very resistant, and he's married to a young woman who she and her sisters spend endless amounts of time talking all around gut health and spending hundreds of dollars to have these tests taken so that they know what kind of food to eat and what kind of supplement to take. And I'm going like, oh my gosh. So I drip on them in a loving, gentle way, and hope eventually that something sticks. And then the fourth one, he and his partner they come up with, you know, well, it's kind of expensive. So I was chatting with that particular son the other day of, you know, it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. You could spend, you have money, you can spend it on this, or you can spend it on that. And when it becomes important enough, you will make the decision that's going to serve your body.
That's it. That's it. We can't make anybody do anything. We just can't make them do anything. And then it just becomes, I think because of my experience in the 1990s in network marketing and having kids that, you know, my daughter used to hide, I'd give her the vitamins. And then when we moved from our house, I found all the vitamins hidden everywhere in the house, in plant pots. I found them under couch cushions. You know, I'd give it to her every day. I thought she was taking them. She was hiding them all over the place. So so it's like whatever, right? So I think I let go of a lot of it. It was challenging last year when my daughter had a lot of health issues, but I don't know. In the end, it's like Jacqueline says, that the need has to be there and the desire has to be there, and then their why. It's the same for them. So we have a why, but our kids have a why, and if their why is not, you know, focused on taking supplements and focusing on their health, no matter what we say or do, we can't make them make it their why. You know, so that path of least resistance is really where I'm moving. I am so comfortable with that now, of just moving in the path of least resistance. Where there's an opportunity, great. If it's there, great. And if it's not, yesterday I had an online conversation with a gal, and she, you know, whatever, it's network marketing, and I was like, you know, thank you, and that was it. I just am not, you know, I just go in the path of least resistance, because that's what I want to do. Because anytime there's resistance, I feel like it just creates disease in my body. Like if we're stressed trying to get other people to do something, or if our kids aren't doing what we want, and then it agitates us, I just think, well, that's doing more harmful things inside my body. You know, what benefit is that, right? So I hear you, Sally. How about you, Stella? Have you come across that stuff with your family?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I'm like everybody else. Family, that's reality of family, right? Kids don't believe mom and dad until they need it. Then they will come to you. So, yeah, all I do is put it out there, and sometimes they come and sometimes they don't. Doesn't matter. It's their choice at the end of the day. Like you, I am not into needing to create conflict with my family just because I believe in their health. That's their choice, and they will make the right choice for themselves when the time comes. Even my husband's a good example of that, you know.
Put you on my phone.
Oh,
Just
even
I
my
missed that
husband,
last part.
yeah, even Dennis is a good example for that, you know. Doesn't matter how much I encourage him to try the products. He'd rather buy a bottle of vitamin B12 at the health food store. Okay, that's your choice, right? And so I just let it be, right? It's about allowing them the time to come on board when they're ready at the end of the day.
And how about you, Brenda Lee? Do you what are your thoughts on having a why or knowing your why?
Well, I have something very interesting. When we were talking about the why thing today, for me, taking proper products and having optimum health is absolutely sort of the foundation of what I'm focusing on in my life. Some of you know and some of you don't. I ended up off work a few years ago with acute chronic fibromyalgia, and no one really knew what would happen or what had happened. And this is what I went through. I went through the medical profession, and I'm actually preparing a talk around this. This is a bottle or a jar of 1 month of medication.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it's a whole whack load of different things. And I did a talk at Toastmasters one night, and their jaw just dropped. And it was around the acute side of the medical profession versus the medical profession is good at dealing with acute care, but long-term care is our responsibility. So my why is to take responsibility for my health by doing what I need to do. And you spoke about your family members not wanting to, be on board. Mine are exactly the same way. However, when the crap hits the fan in their life, they come to me because they know what I've been through. And most recently, my daughter, for example, her father just had a stroke. He's had multiple health situations. Her father and I are not together. And she came and asked me a series of questions. And back in the day, I was involved with a company called Zango. And she said, Mommy, do you have any more of that juice stuff for Dad? I'm like, no, sweetie, I don't. And so we had an interesting conversation around that. But when something or someone that they love hits their heart, they sometimes reach out. And that's exactly what happened with my daughter. I said, no, but maybe there's something else I could help you with. She just came back from the island, so I'm probably going to pop on a call with Jacqueline later and have a conversation with her, because I'm still somewhat unfamiliar with all the products, but she sees acutely the value of her health in watching. Her father is actually very close to passing away, probably 2 to 3 months, maybe 4. And now she's in that stage of help, what do we do? And I tried for years to help him with, or to help her help them, and he was completely unreceptive. Now they have their father passing, and now it's like, now there's a massive why. Why do we do this? So you can't change your family's perspective. I loved what you said previously about the law of detachment. You have to remain detached, and you just have to be a living example. So what I went through my children watched a massive transformation in my health, because I was literally in bed for days to being almost virtually restored to health through the things I did. And it was not through this, not through the medical profession. This was acute temporary care, but I went on a journey of doing my own stuff. And that's my story, and that's my why, is to be able to help others to not live this life, to be stuck in this loop, because it's hopeless. It's hopeless and the medical profession, bless their heart, I don't know if anyone's attached to or a medical professional on this call or have family members. They are awesome at acute care, a broken leg, a heart attack, or whatever. But anything that hits chronic care, they struggle with because they don't know what to do. And I learned that at a program that I just attended. I'm in the process of attending right now through BC Women's Hospital, called the Complex Chronic Disease Program. Phenomenal program, groundbreaking, starting to change the way medical professionals look at health, looking at the mind-body connection. And my daughter even took the mind-body connection book that I gave her, I don't know, a few years ago, to her dad's this weekend. It's really interesting. It takes time, but only when it really hits them in the heart.
Yeah, that's excellent. Thank you for all of that, Brenda. And, you know, being a nurse for 30 years, like you say about acute care, the medical profession being able to assist in acute care, when it comes to them, you know, not knowing or not being able to do much about chronic care, is because they can't undo what we've done to ourselves. They can't undo that. They cannot undo that. So, you know, when it comes to chronic care stuff, nobody can go back and fix what's been slowly deteriorating or slowly happening over the period of days, weeks, months, and years. But, you know, for sure, if I'm on the side of the road and I've been, you know, hit by a car, I definitely want acute care medicine, and I want pain drugs, and I want, you know, antibiotics if I've got an infection or whatever. But chronic care is, you nailed it, it's our responsibility. And part of my why, absolutely for me, part of my why is maintaining thriving health. You know, I'm somebody that has endless energy. I don't yawn during the day. I have a lot of energy. I feel good, and I want to maintain that for as long as I can, so that whatever days, you know, I have, that those days are filled with energy and being able to get things done and feel good and feel young and all of those things. You know, I love that. But chronic illness is, nobody has a magic wand to be able to go back and undo the damage that has happened in our own bodies as a result. It's not because of medicine, it's just a deteriorating body as a result of whatever. It could be 100 different things. So,
and Monique, having had my own personal experience around that, I would say a few years ago I was far less open to looking at alternatives, because I was very logical and practical. I am way more on the opposite end of the spectrum now, where it is absolutely critical we take care of our own health in whatever way we can, mind, body, and spirit, all included, which is kind of why I like this group. It's your non-traditional network marketing group, to be honest with you, and it's fabulous. And I am one of those who love being part of this group, and I love the inspirational aspect of it too. So
that's nice, and that can be a why, right? We have some people on our team that can absolutely be their why to be part of this. So Jacqueline and I talked about that last night too, of just not having any parameters around what it is that people come to this for. So if people come onto the team that let's say somebody that you think they would enjoy these calls, and they're on the calls and they're not an ambassador, and they love these calls, you know what? I'm okay with that. Who cares? So what? So isn't that great? And they can contribute to the community. And perhaps through that, they may find that then they may decide, or by being in the group, that they see a product that they'd like to take. I just love that approach much more. I really do. And I just think I don't want to limit how I can be of benefit to somebody else. And if it's a benefit for them to be on this call and it's uplifting for them, then great. We're giving them a gift. And if it's, if the best outcome for them is to be on product, that's great. And they can make that decision too. So I really like the idea of providing, I said to Jacqueline, a buffet. Yeah. And the buffet is personal development, spiritual development, inspiration, product, health information, financial opportunity, all of those things are on the buffet, and people can come and they can eat at the buffet and they can take what they want. We're not going to make them, we're not going to tell them they have to do this or have to do that. So that felt good, sort of talking that through with Jacqueline yesterday and opening it up. And it is unconventional. And of course, I always love unconventional, because I always like shaking things up and when everybody's doing the same thing, I'm always the one that wants to. I think Stella's a bit like that too. I want to shake it up. Oh my goodness. So that kind of segues, Brenda, your share segues a bit to the product topic I was just going to mention today. Melanie Schroeder, who is a long time friend of mine, probably 15 years. And Melanie also had she's an accountant. She was a very busy woman and then was completely debilitated by fibromyalgia. And Brent and Melanie also went through the same program at Women's Hospital, the complex chronic illness program. And I think she's kind of finished that part of it now. But I saw her the other day, and she just looks great. And she couldn't work for so long. Like, she was off work, and now she's working downtown again. I mean, it was just fabulous seeing her. She looks fabulous. And she was telling me that she feels so much better in just recently in the last few weeks, and she posted something about it in our group. So I asked her specifically what she did, because she took Plexus products a few years ago, then she stopped. But she said that each time she's gone back on them, she's found some benefit, and this time she was more committed, I guess, and so she was doing the pink drink every day, but she added the X Factor recently. And she suffers from pernicious anemia, so she was getting some B12 shots at some point. She was taking extra folate. I don't know if that was recommended through the program she was in, but all of a sudden she noticed a real improvement, and she attributes it to adding that X Factor. And she was doing 1 a day, now she's gone to 2 a day. So I put in the group, I linked her into that thing that explains the methylation. So you can take all the folate you want. I think I've got this right, Brenda. You can take all this folate, but if your cells can't get the folate, is that right? Or if your folate can't get into the cells, it's not going to do any good. And there's a certain percentage of population where that ability is missing. And the methylation and what the X Factor provides through this methylation process is for the ability of the cells to take in the folate. And now that she thinks that may be why all of a sudden now she's really feeling different. Does that make sense, Brenda?
It's actually the folic acid.
Folic acid, okay.
That the body cannot assimilate, because
Right.
it's a 5-step process.
Okay.
So what Plexus does is doesn't give us the folic acid, gives us the folate. So the
Right.
body can access it right away.
Right. But this methylation thing is specifically because she was
It's
taking
the gene, yeah.
It's the gene, yeah, that's right. It was the gene, yes. So anyway, I wanted to mention that. So if ever, so Brenda Lee, for example, it might be nice for you to connect with Melanie in the group. So she's in the group and she's been through that. She's done the exact same program that you've done at Women's Hospital.
It's progressively changing, and it's an outstanding program. And I'd like to connect with Brenda on this call later, potentially, or on another time, because she mentioned something last week called mitochondria. And everything, energy comes from that level. And when we're massively depleted at the mitochondria, there was one particular slide that was taught to us at the hospital. It's called chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. Is it hypochondria or mitochondria?
Mitochondria.
It was a fantastic, like, whoa, it was like an eye-opening presentation, because there's a massive amount of science behind this now, that energy at the cellular level, if you're depleted, it doesn't matter what you do. You can set wonderful intentions, you can do all these things, but if you aren't restoring yourself at every aspect of your life, your cellular energy, you're struggling. And I actually that's exactly what had happened to me. I was in a corporate job, massively overworking, and I'll tell the story another day, but couldn't figure out what had happened. And I literally dropped in a parking lot one day, and it took me months to figure out, and a year and a bit to figure out exactly what had gone on. So
Brenda, you're so right. It really is the mitochondria that, we're fatigued, we don't have any energy, all that. It's because we're not giving the mitochondria the stuff that they needed, and X Factor is superb. And mitochondria needs the B12. We're missing the complex.
And magnesium.
So I didn't even talk about about the bio cleanse in that respect. I just touched on the vital biome, because the vital biome make the bacteria, microorganisms, make the B12 and the folate. So all four, when I saw this, it was so exciting to me. Honestly, honestly, these products are unbelievable. But I saw it happening at a cellular level. It didn't occur to me when I start, it's only when I start to do this and I thought, oh my God, I'm telling you, I kid you not, every single day I think of it. I am so grateful for these products to that extent, because it
That's
goes to
beautiful.
the cellular
I'd,
level.
I'd be happy on another call to prep some information for you that I got, that's science behind what you're describing, that I got from the
Would love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be great. Thank you. So Melanie said to me in the end, she said to me, I don't know, there's something just magical about these products. And I said, I know. And I said, I always knew that. And I used to say they're like manna from God, like they're like manna. And there's because for over 10 years now, I have watched and read and heard testimonials of people saying, I don't get it. Like I took it for this and, and then this happened and that happened. And of course, there is science behind it. And I'm not even sure, as a matter of fact, I'm even going to go out on a limb and say, I'm pretty sure that when these first few products came out, like the triplex combo came out, though each product was understood individually, it's what can happen when they come together. And then that creates these other things that people can't explain. And it's no different than when you take a drug. You take a certain drug and it's got all its side effects and its benefits, and you take another drug and it's got all its side effects and benefits. With pharmaceuticals, typically when you take two together, you get more of the side effects. You get new side effects that weren't described over here, they weren't described over here.
I'll
You
tell
put
you.
them together. You put them together, and now you got these other things going on and they're like, nope, it's not the drugs, because this drug doesn't cause that and this drug doesn't cause it. But who knows what happens when you bring the two drugs together. And I just personally believe it's the same thing with these products. I think there are things that maybe haven't yet been discovered, or it's like what you two are saying about way down at the level of the mitochondria, right?
And the DNA.
And
And the DNA.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. So that segues, thank you guys so much for all of this. So that segues into here. I just want to screen share and then we'll wrap up with this. Okay, so can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, so that's our group. So a couple things I want to show you. One of them is, so this here at the top is this is what I'm referring to when I was saying that when people come into the group, if you invite people into the group, encourage them to read, just tell them to read the post that's pinned at the top, okay? Because if they read this, this is like an invitation and it will allow them to self-select. Oh, this is interesting, I want to know more, or no, this isn't what, I'm not into this. So it really covers it. Have a look through this and see. Jacqueline gave me some feedback, which I've incorporated. And if you have any feedback, please let me know. But have a look at that. The other thing is when you invite people into the group. So what I want to say is let the group do some of the work for you. Let these posts do some work for you. What's happening is I've started posting different things completely. I'm not just posting Plexus products and testimonials and business related stuff. So for example, I posted this one about eating pistachios before bed and how they help the body create, there's something in them that helps the body create melatonin. And and now there's studies showing that if you eat pistachios before bed, you have a better sleep, this kind of stuff, right? So it engages what I'm seeing. You see here where it says seen by. Well, what I see is I start to see names popping up. So there's Stella's friend. There's somebody Jacqueline invited. This is a gal who lives in Mexico who's not even an ambassador yet, but wants to be. So I don't even know who this person is. Paulette. Look at that. Stella. So these people now are people that have not engaged before, okay? And they haven't been reading stuff in the group before, and now all of a sudden we're seeing these names of these. Here's another one, don't know who that is. Yes, Terry, who's that? Jacqueline.
That's my friend.
Okay, so when I encourage and ask you guys to please post or comment in the group, the reason it's really beneficial is because these people are your friends. These are not my friends. These are your friends. So they need to see you guys making comments and posting. so that they know that you're active in here, so they know to come back to you if there's something they want or they want more information on. So this post that I've put, this explanation is pinned at the top, which means it's not going to drop down no matter how many new things are there. This will remain up here. But the other posts do disappear and they drop down. Every time something new gets posted, they drop down. But what also happens is if you comment under something, it shoots it back up to the top. Okay, so just know that. So if, let's say you've got a friend in here and you want them to see a particular thing, in the comments, just type in their name, you know, Betty, whoever, and then what'll happen is this post will move back up again. So that's one way of being able to get people to see something. The other way, you guys know, is to put in the search window in here. So if I put in X Factor.
Where are you putting it in? Oh,
The search window, I'll show you in a second. All the posts that have mentioned X Factor, okay, they're all here. So if you have somebody who's interested in X Factor, there's, look at these hands here with Raynaud's. There's all these posts related, goes way back even when the packaging was different. This one is back from 2015, okay? So you can do that as well. So the discussion, the main group that you guys are looking at is under the tab discussion, okay? Here's the group. That's what it looks like. Let me just get rid of that. Chats, you don't have to worry about. We don't have any announcements. If you click on announcements, that's like this particular one that I put it as an announcement, and what it does is you all get a notification about it. Members, you click on that, it shows you everybody who's in the group, so if you want to see who you know that's in here. Events, there aren't any videos, there aren't any photos, there's lots. Files is where we can put information like this kind of stuff. So detaching, this was the notes from detaching from the outcome, Plexus product and info resources, pricing, you know, different things that, and you guys can add files in here, you can do that yourselves. And then the last three, group insights, moderate, group quality, there isn't anything there for any of you and me. I don't even know what it is. But
Monique, is this a business page, Facebook page, or your personal?
It's just a straight group.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just a group. So Brenda, that right here is that little search window.
where? Oh, search this group?
Yep.
Okay, and I would put down whatever I want, X Factor, and it'll come up.
That's correct. So if you put in,
Can I give an example?
Yeah.
So yesterday, a friend of mine was talking about her grandson who has autism. So when I got home, typed in autism right there, and the second article that came up in that group, which you will see right under the little diagram, that one with the mom and her son, absolutely excellent article. It described the symptoms. It describes the different products that she used to address, you know, different things that were going on. And so I was able to just copy that and send it to her. So it's a fantastic library of resources that we have right there at our fingertips.
yeah, and it's very limited because these are just things I've done, but that's like Opportunity of Hope that Krista has. That's another group that same thing, you can look for things. So when you get in here, you have to, don't click up here on my name and don't click in here. That'll open the group again. This will go to my personal page. So what you have to do is to open it, you've got to click right directly on the article. And then it opens it. And
or
now,
on See More. If you click on the See More, you'll get all of that as well.
and then under comments, now if you put in, let's say I'm going to put here, I'm going to type in Jacqueline. Oh, hang on, her name won't highlight unless I put a capital J. Okay, so let's say I put Jacqueline's name now, okay, and I enter that. So now I'm just going to close this. Okay, and I'm going to go back to our group. Okay, here's our group. Now what we should see is, there it is at the top. Okay, so now we've taken that article from October 3rd of 2018, and it's now visible again, which is a great way for our people that are in the group to see something they never saw before. But also this opens the opportunity for Jacqueline to invite that woman into the group and say there's an article, like she sent it to her, but the other way you can do it is say, you know what, I belong to a group, there's an article in there, I think you'd be interested, and invite them into the group. So if you invite someone into the group, I want to finish off with this. Up here it says invite members. You can either put in their name if they are a Facebook group of yours, okay? If they're a Facebook friend, you can just type in their name, and then, so for example, these names show up. You can either just find them or you just type in their name. If I type in Andy, there's Andy Voth, his name shows up. You can do it that way, or you can enter their email address and they'll get an email notification. Doing this is the least effective way to do it, because what happens is if you type their name, all they're going to get, if you put their name, is they're going to get one of these little red notification things, and if they don't look at those, they're not going to see it. And it'll say, what it'll say, Sally Maloney invited you into Freedom and Fun Finders. Well, if they don't have a clue what that is, I get invitations every single day, you guys, to join groups, and I never join them. I don't. So this is the least effective way to do it. The more effective way is to grab the link up here. So you open the group, you make sure you're in the group, and up here, this is see the URL, it says facebook.com/groups and the number. That is the identification of this group. So you just copy that, and then you go into your email to the person, or you're in your messenger, Facebook Messenger. So let's say I go to here and I put in Stella. There's Stella right there. And then I can drop the link, and there it is. And it'll show up. Now when they do that, all they have to do is click on that link, and now they come into the group. And what'll happen is when they click on the link, it'll say, when they come into the link, it'll say, you know, thank you for something or other. Would you like to join this group? Okay, and then they get to say yes or no. And then I get a notification saying you've got somebody, you know, Betty Jo wants to join the group, and then I add them. So that is way more effective. Putting their name here and expecting them to follow up is the least effective way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so you just copy and grab that URL up here at the top right there, and you paste it to them. Now, if you're in an article, if you're actually reading an article, let's say I click on, if I click on an article, this URL will change. Don't send them that. They won't be able to get in that way. The only way they can get in is if you're right on the basic discussion group here, and then you grab this link at the top. Okay, and lastly, in our group today, I'm going to bring this one up to the top, is this. Okay, and this is what initiated the shift I had yesterday of opening this up more, not necessarily just about taking Plexus products, but providing all kinds of support to people. So this is a body, the Wisdom of the Body Summit is an online free thing that you can participate in. I have been a guest on summits before, and I've listened to a lot of summits. Some of the guests you'll like, some of them you may not like. All of them will have an offer. They'll do a talk, because that's why it's free, and they'll have something they offer. That's fine. You don't have to. You can get some if you want. You don't have to. But this one I like because Bruce Lipton is one of the speakers, and he talks a lot about the energy and DNA of cells, and how your thoughts affect the DNA, and how your emotions affect your DNA and affect you at a cellular level. So there's some really, really good stuff in here. So all you have to do to register is you just click right there on the window. So you can invite people to do this with you. And this is being put on by Sounds True, which I've been a member of Sounds True, I think, well, long before there was the internet, because I used to get their catalogs and order things. I did all my learning through Sounds True, and she's the owner of it. They just click on here and they register. Okay, and then here are all the different people that are going to be presenting. And let's see. So when you register, you're going to receive a free guided somatic meditation. They're really, really good, you guys. Like these are really exceptional speakers. So some of them will be on meditation, some of it will be on movement, health and wellness, energy. You know, there's going to be all kinds of different topics, and it's free. The only thing I'm not sure about is I don't know if you will get copies of the recording if you're not on live. Sometimes what they do is they do the summit and you can access it free. And then if you want the whole summit, sometimes you pay a flat rate, $49 or whatever, and then you can get all of the recordings of them all. So if you're not able to listen to them live, or you can't listen to all of them live, I'm not 100% sure you'll get copies of them all, but if you can capture a few, it'd be great. Yeah, Jacqueline?
It seems to me I read on there that it's available free for 12 hours
24.
after the actual recording time. 24? Okay, I thought I read 12, but yeah, it's and then if you wanted this whatever they called it package,
Yeah.
there was a fee.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, that's just an example of the kind of things that, you know, we can offer within the group that aren't necessarily always just tied to plexus. And I really like that idea. Like I say, we've got people that have different things that they want to, you know, that they want to learn about and be supported in their health. And anyway, so there you go. That's all I feel like saying. What do you feel like saying, Stella?
Hallelujah.
All right. And Sally, what do you feel like saying?
This has been very good today. Yeah,
Good.
that's it.
Jacqueline?
I like the directions.
Great. And Brenda B?
I like the openness and interesting sort of the way that the call went, and it allowed each of us an opportunity to speak a little bit, and it was sort of an unscripted call, and I loved it.
It was unscripted. And how about you, other Brenda?
I loved all of it. I usually do. So it's good. All good.
Good. All right. So in regards to plexus, is there anything anybody wants to share that they have in their plan for this week? Brenda Lee, you mentioned about getting together with Jacqueline.
Yeah, I had an interesting thing yesterday. I had a friend come over, and I happened to be having my pink drink, and I kind of shared some information with her on that. And I, be honest with you, I'm taking these products, and I need to be a bit more aware of what they're actually doing, because I'm feeling much better, but I'm not sure which one is the one that's making me feel better. So I'll talk to Jacqueline about that specifically. But the gal that I had over was very interested in knowing more about the pink drink. So I'm going to touch base with Jacqueline later. And I feel it's important sometimes with certain people to try one thing at a time. If they get some sort of, like you mentioned before, some sort of a positive response to that, then they're open to more things beyond that. And this lady is going in for a kidney operation. She's gifting a kidney to somebody.
Wow.
And is in the process of really wanting to restore her energy, her vitality, her body, everything. She's trying to be off of anything that's not healthy and everything that is inclusive healthy. And she seemed to be totally interested in my pink drink.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, well, we'll wrap it up there, and thanks you guys so much for the call. So in regards to next week, I'll leave it to you guys to get a hold of me in the next 24 hours, because then I'm going to be out of touch. So if any of you want to lead the call next week, leading the call means I'll send you the Zoom link so that you can log in. You don't have to record, you don't have to do anything, you can if you want. And you guys can decide amongst you who wants to do what for 10 minutes each, and or if you don't. So just let me know if you do want to lead it, then I can let the others know. If you don't and nobody responds they want to, then we'll cancel the call. Jacqueline?
That would be a great time to have the Brenda Summit, and anybody who wants to listen in can do that. The two Brendas having a discussion, what you talked about earlier.
I'm not sure if I can, because I might be away for part of next week with my daughter. So has to do with her father. So I will be chatting with her later today, but following me perhaps, yes.
Okay. All right. I got to run because I have a call at 11. Sally?
Just an FYI on your note about pistachios. No wonder I had a sound sleep. I ate half a cup of them.
Oh, good.
There you go. Stella?
Fantastic.
I just want to say I'm going to take a hiatus next week too.
Okay, all right. So we'll see if anybody else steps up. Irene, I know, is away on holidays as well. So we'll leave it to you guys to let me know if somebody wants to. Otherwise, we'll hold off and we'll do the week after. All right, bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.